Hey guys, what's up? And welcome to Trish Lindo Style. If this is your first time here, well, you're in the right place. This is my first video that I am filming. It's taken me forever to do this, so I'm pushing myself to get her done. So on this channel, we're gonna talk a little about everything. Mostly we're gonna talk about life. We're gonna talk a little about, what it means to really live in the messy middle and trying to figure things out without any answers. And, I feel like when you're in this space, you kind of feel a little alone. I know I have felt alone being in the space. You're sort of in between chapters and you're just waiting for that next page to turn so you can start anew, but nothing's really working. Yeah, that's me. So on this channel, we're going to talk a little about that, a little bit about me. So my background is in media and tech. I'm also an immigrant. I have several siblings. I'm the oldest daughter, so if you know, that means that I always have to be in charge of everything. Well, not always, but it's kind of understood that I need to be in charge, right? Yes. But I'm also a person who loves to travel. I've traveled to a few different countries. I'm a traveler, so always traveling around the US. I've been to, Budapest, I've been to Italy, I've been to Portugal, Switzerland, Vienna. I get around. Anyway, we can talk about that another time because, like I said, I love to travel. One of the things that I'm always sort of faced with, is talking about content creation. So I talk about content creation in my Substack. I talk about content creation on my LinkedIn. And I've been a creator for some time, for many years, and also too, just kind of helping people to figure out their own journey, especially in content creation. But for myself, it's been really hard to do. And I don't know why that is. I feel like I've spent most of my life helping other people, telling them how to show up, using my media background because I used to work at CNN. I also used to work at OWN. Yes, Oprah. I used to work for Oprah. And I also used to work at BuzzFeed and I used to work at LinkedIn. And a lot of my job was telling people how to show up across social media and how to write and tell their stories. And I find like it's like my time to really put myself out there a little bit more by creating this video. Believe it or not, I used to be YouTube certified in audience growth, especially when I was at BuzzFeed and I was managing the team that created content for Tasty. If you know, you know. If you're a foodie, I'm sure you know all about the Tasty channel. So that was part of my life for a few years. And so I'm very embedded into YouTube. I love watching YouTube, but I just, to create my own content, it's been like this wall that I'm trying to get over. So this video, this is me. This is me jumping out there, jumping off the cliff, over the cliff, you name it. That's what I'm trying to do, is trying to push through this block that I have, and I don't know why. So anyway, I wrote some notes down in my handy dandy notebook. And today I'm gonna talk a little bit about having it all figured out. And I know sometimes it feels like, at least for me, I felt like I've had to have it figured out. So my backstory is this, I graduated from Florida A&M University, HBCU, Rattlers, hey, if you know, you know. But it was something that I've always wanted to do, was to live in California, Los Angeles specifically. So I packed up all my things, moved to Los Angeles to work in the entertainment industry. And was it scary? Yes, but I did it, right? And my whole goal was to work in entertainment. And that's what I did for many years. I worked at E, I covered red carpets, I talked to celebrities, some of the biggest celebrities in the world. And, that's what you do in LA. Like if you've ever lived in Los Angeles, you got all the things. You most likely probably want to be an actor or a model or something like that. But I wanted to work in entertainment and I did that, and I just kind of kind of moved along with the way things were going at the time, and I moved into tech, working at BuzzFeed and eventually at LinkedIn. And I'm so grateful for that opportunity. But let me tell you, when you're sort of kind of going along in life, at a certain point, you got to ask yourself, okay, what is it that I'm doing? Like, for real, like, what am I doing, right? And I think a lot of people are like asking themselves that question right now. I think the world, as we know, is changing. AI has changed that, you know, layoffs. A lot of us are unemployed. I was laid off from LinkedIn at the end of 2023. I am an entrepreneur now, you know, I'm my own consultant, you know, I do contract work, that sort of thing. But it's hard. It's really, really hard because historically, you know, people have said like, hey, you know, you go to school, you get a good job, and that's that. You know, at least that's what my parents told me. But, you know, but now that playbook doesn't really apply anymore. And I just feel like the whole time I'm just sort of like, okay, what in the actual fork? Like, seriously, like, what am I doing with my life? What do I want to be when I grow up, you know? And I just sort of feel like I've just been in like this little space where you try different things, you talk to different people, you meet different people, but nothing ever seems to really sort of plan out. I will say a few things. Here's a few things at least that I know that has worked for me so far. And it is this. So prayer helps. Prayer does help. I'm going to church, I am praying, and I found a lot of peace in that. And I know a lot of people probably like, you know, and I get it. You know, I used to be that person that wasn't like, I would say I was spiritual, but not religious. But I don't know if I am religious now, but finding a church and going on a regular basis and praying has really helped to sort of give me that peace that I've been looking for, to not overthink it, because we all know none of us are in charge, okay? We can't do anything on our own. And I'm speaking, I mean, I know we can do things on our own, obviously, but you need some sort of divine intervention. At least that's what I found. But the thing is that you have to keep showing up. That's the biggest thing that I've learned. Every day I wake up and I'm saying, thank God, thank you God for waking me up today, because it's another chance, right? It's another chance to do something, to be great. And although there are days that I'm just like, I'm not even really sure what I'm supposed to be doing, but I just keep doing it. You know, I go to networking events, I meet people, I help my friends out. I would say that I'm a connector. So there are often times that I'm like connecting people to opportunity. I am giving them advice, you know, when they ask, of course, because nobody wants to hear unsolicited advice. Like, they really don't. My dad always said that's why they kill Caesar. Anyway, and you know he's from the South, so there you have it. The other thing that I've learned, so number two thing that I've learned in this sort of messy middle, trying to figure out what you want when you grow up, is that you can talk to a lot of people, you can get advice from people, but at the end of the day, you have to listen to that internal clock, that vibe and that gut feeling that says, this is what you're supposed to be doing, because no one really knows who you are but you, which is why, yes, obviously it's more important why you need to know who you are as a person. And that takes time too. And especially if you've been going through a lot, you're dealing with a lot of loss. I know people who are navigating the loss of a best friend, or if they were family members or their parents, that is really hard. Or, you know, people who are dealing with illness, if you have like a chronic illness, or, you know, it's hard when you're dealing with those things to figure out your own life, because that becomes the focus of your life, is how to get through this crisis and still remain sane, right? And that's always, I'm always thinking, is like, how do I stay sane? What's the best thing I need to do to stay sane? Because you can really overthink yourself into madness, and that's real. Like, really, you could really overthink. You could stay up every night crying and hooting and hollering and realize that, okay, yeah, I'm going crazy, you know. So you can't listen to everybody. You have to really learn that internal voice. And one thing that I've been doing is just getting quiet. And I'm not going to say meditate. Like, I've been trying to meditate for years. And let me tell you something, my mind, it's just a bunch of things running through there, and that's another video. So you can go to somebody else's channel to learn how to meditate. Like, I'm for real, because it hasn't been easy for me. Some people say, oh, you know, I do yoga. I can't do yoga because I'm bored. I'm bored. Like, I can't, you know. It's good for stretching, sure, but to do it as a practice, I need other things, you know. So I go to the gym, you know, I do my thing, you know. But you have to find that thing for you. And what I found, I do journal, not every day consistently, but I do it a few times a week. Works for me and everything like that. But the other thing is really just getting quiet, you know. And I find that if I stop, you know, watching TV and just stop listening to people, I've literally told people I don't want advice. I really don't, because it gets all in my head, and then I start spiraling even more and overthinking what I should be doing, right? So I don't do that anymore. The other thing that I found that really, really helps, and I know some people have said this works too, is working out. But it's not just working out for me, it's having some sort of consistent routine. Now, let me tell you something. I think I might be ADHD, I'm not sure. I've never gotten it done, and I'm not gonna say it because I know everybody's an internet doctor, so I'm not gonna say it. But I don't think I am, but I have tendencies. So I definitely need to get checked, because there are some days and I'm like, wait a minute. But I find that, you know, having structure in my day, like I get up at the same time every day, I eat the same thing, I work out around the same, having that structure really helps me to sort of keep things in perspective and keep my life sort of regimented. And it does make me feel like I'm not like all over the place losing it, you know. But I think that's really helped. And I think the final thing is also, at least for me anyway, is like helping other people. And I'm not saying that I'm like a doormat or, you know, I'm just showing up for people all the time, but I'm using discernment. I didn't used to be that way. I did used to sort of give my time to everybody, and what did that lead to? Take a guess. That's right, burnout. Okay, so I've learned from that, and no longer. So I am using discernment, but I like showing up for my friends and my family, and helping to, you know, sometimes there's people that I just meet that I'm happy to share my knowledge or share my research or things that I know. My background, like I said, is in media and social media as well. So I share that, and that makes me feel good. That helps me. But, you know, yeah, I mean, I think that those are some of the things that has really helped me as I'm waiting for this next chapter of my life to turn. You know, I need it to be like, woo, I need the page to turn. I don't know when that's gonna happen, but I would love the chapter to change. But in the meantime, I'm still showing up. This is my first video as me on YouTube, so thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And I'm gonna be doing more videos. I have a challenge I need to work on so that I can do this consistently. I even wrote stuff down. I wrote stuff down because I have notes and things that I want to talk about. And it's just been like forever, but like I said, I needed to put myself out there. So if you're like me and you've just been overthinking, I will overthink this video forever. And so I'm showing up, you know, messy. There are not gonna be any B-roll or cuts in this video, so you probably noticed if you made it this far. But I'm showing up consistently because I'm testing myself, I'm pushing myself to do something different, to try to be great, to create. And you can do the same thing too. But I think sometimes society has put a lot of pressure on us to show up a certain way. you put a lot of pressure on yourself. I know I do. I've put so much pressure on myself in how I'm showing up, what I'm doing, how this looks, how I look, what do I need to be saying, you know, and I think that's the most important thing, is really sort of connecting. And I'm all about community and talking with other people and meeting people like you here. So, you know, if you feel the same, if you are in that in between life moment and you're waiting for that other chapter to turn, this channel is for you, and we can talk about it, you know. So I'm not going to continue talking because we got more videos to do, right? So thank you all for showing up today. Don't forget to subscribe to Trish Lindo Style. You can subscribe here. I also have my Substack, which is social, what is it called again? It is the Social Capital Chronicles. And also, you can find me also on Instagram at Trish Lindo Style, but I believe I'm the only Trish Lindo. I think I had the others removed. That's a joke. But yeah, but I'm the only Trish Lindo, so I'm easy to find. But I'm so happy that if you made it this far, thank you so much for listening to me. I will see you next time for another video of me, Trish Lindo Style, figuring out what the heck it is that I'm doing. Like what are you doing? Like, for real. So thank you all for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.